What's going on YouTube? AJTBLS here, coming to you with another GOAT format replay. This replay will be against Overdose. This was in the first wave of pairings, so it was myself versus James Ark. You can Google him and see all of his accomplishments throughout his Yugioh career. For this, I figured that Team Overdose would be playing probably a fair mix of Warriors and Chaos Turbo, as I firmly do believe still that Chaos Turbo is the best deck. And this was for the finals, Season 2 of the War League. So it was Safari Zone versus Team Overdose. So 20 monsters here. Only 2 trains opposed to my most recent list that I played in Texas. At this time, I believe this happened about 3 months ago, so it's a little bit of an older replay. I was doing 3 trains and then 12 spells and 8 traps. The trap lineup included a Solemn instead of the third shoot, so I don't know if I would necessarily run this again, but I wanted to give the one Solemn a fair go again, and I felt like, you know, at the time that this is a high skill gap card and these opponents are no slouches, so I felt maybe Solemn might be needed. Sideboard, we've got 1 Gorilla for Warriors, Kinetic Soldier again for Warriors, Kaiku for the Mirror, Skill Dark. I was on this instead of some Byra at the time, so I actually put this in the Mirror sometimes. Another Suki, Mind Control, 1 Walk. Again, this is the finals, you know, against a really good team, so no need to have more than 1 Walk in my opinion. It was very unlikely we were going to play against Burn. Swords, Magic Cylinder, testing out Needle Sealing. Marcus Hayden had me on that, so I was going to test out the Needle Sealing. Didn't come up. I don't think I've ever cited it at the time, but it sounded like a good idea. Threw it in. 2 Sakuretsu Armors, 2 Threatening Roars. These are in because they have a very accomplished OTK player, Matt Uber. He's beaten me a numerous amount of times in games that were just like, I'm ahead in so many cards, but then he'll get his combo pieces and, you know, do his thing. And gotta respect that. So even though I don't believe that it came up, and I don't even think they played him for the finals, him being on the roster, look what he did. He took out 2 of my spots in the sideboard. And then another shoot. So at this time I was siding a shoot and not maining 3. I was siding 1 for when I go first, and I put this in the Mirror. So okay, let's hop into it. It's not known, I believe at this time, what he is playing, but I think it's just fair to assume that he was on Chaos. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I know James very well. Stayed in my hotel room a couple nights for Yugioh events, so he's a friend of mine, and we're both fighting at the grandest stage there is in online Yu-Gi-Oh these days for team events. So let's go ahead and take a look at our opening hand here. It's pretty clear in my opinion. It's just going to be set the spy and set the space for him and hope that he doesn't have breaker and bring it out. Remember, in live time, as always, I don't see his hand, right? So he's got to play with the information that I have. He decides to T-set, and thankfully he did, because if he went the aggressive route of summon, pop, and mind control, we'd be with our backs against the walls. I did hold Charity here, and the reason being is that I can wait a turn. You know, what happens if I draw the Sinister? I guess it wouldn't matter if I drew Sinister specifically, but what happens if I draw the Thunder Dragon or Night Assailant, and, you know, let's deck thin a little bit with the Spy, flip it up, and hope it goes through. See what happens and develops. I'm not running 3 shoots in this version, so there's no reason to necessarily just go digging. So in the end phase, we obviously space, and we're rolling. So we draw Nobleman. We are to flip up the Spy here, put it in attack mode, then Nobleman. You have to get the order of operations right here, right? Or else you could have, you know, really messed it up. And we have a little bit of a mini decision point here. 2 decisions. Do we normal summon this Kaiku to poke for more damage? Because it would be 4,200. That's more than half the life. Do we use this Charity? Do we set the Dekoichi? What do we do here? I just decide to attack for 24, and I believe I set the train. So the reason why this is a better play than the other play of summoning the Kaiku is they're all spellcasters. Strive Infecting Virus would absolutely eat, and they would clear me up. And also, in my mind, I tested for Nobleman and Mind Control on turn 0 when this Spy resolved. So I don't think that he has a Mind Control in his hand or a Nobleman because he would have used it, but, you know, he actually does. So, okay, and there's no reason to use this Charity because we're in a good position. Let's just wait. You draw a Sinister. Mind control's unfortunate, and now he draws the nobleman, so bad timing for him. And now he's in a decision point. What would you do? Got to bring out the breaker at a point and just get the +1 here. And also, this is a good play in his perspective because he can now just run over the train next turn, right? Now we kind of have to fire this charity. The reason being is that this Dakoichi is just a sitting duck, and I'd like to be able to protect it. We also do have a Dark in the Grave, and we drew Sork, so all we need is a light. We do get a light. So I decided to go to the aggressive route and bring out the Sork, and then we obviously get the Banish. So the reason why I do this, even though there's now a lot of spellcasters, is that I drew this Shoot. If I see the Tribe Infecting Virus in his hand, I can easily spin it back. And I'm also okay with committing this Sork because if he has Snatch Steal, we have Heavy Storm to follow up. So this game 1 is pretty much a wrap. He would need Severe Trinity to get himself out of this, and this is just a huge life point differential. And for us, we just simply set the Shoot in pass. We shoot him, and he just decides to scoop because he knows this is game. So for siding, I don't necessarily know exactly what I did for siding because I remember at the time that in previous weeks in the playoffs, I was taking out the trains, I was putting in beaters, I was doing a lot of stuff. I think it's very important that when you make videos like this to talk in real time and not rehearse because you want to just be genuine with the viewers and say what you would have done. So, and talk about different lines. So for siding, I assume that I brought in this mind control. You know, I like to be able to respond to T-sets in a mirror match. A mirror match is something I take very seriously. I think I'm very good at it. So my general thesis is that when I'm going second, I like to bring in aggressive monsters and take out reactive stuff. You know, in this case, I'm going to take out my Dakoichis. I'm going to leave the spies just because it's too good. I'd probably put in another Kaiku, mind control, and I don't think I would go with the third shoot going second in this list. I might side out the Solemn. It's not as good going second. MST can go as well, but let's see what I ended up doing. I can't say for sure. I don't remember exactly what I decided. So he has a good hand. He has an interesting decision whether to fire this duo or use the shoot first. In the mirror match, I firmly believe that you are to use the Trap Dust Shoot first. It's possible that I have, you know, a Night Assailant, a Flip Monster. I could have a Serpent. Another situation that would really suck is that if he duos me and he hits, let's say, my Thunder Dragon, right? And let's pretend this was not Berserk Gorilla. Let's say it was Snatch Steal. I'd just throw away the Sangan and pray I don't draw a monster. And then standby phase, he now has a -1 shoot. He gets the information, but he'd get that information anyways if he waits. And then he would have like no monster to pick. So the correct play is to set the shoot and likely set the train and set the jar and pass. So let's see what James decides to do. So he's doing exactly what I described. No need for him to set through a Geki break because he has no fodder for it. And let's go ahead and break this down. So standby phase, he shoots me. So he sends the Thunder Dragon. This is now, you have to start thinking at a higher level. When he sends the Thunder Dragon, let's take a look at our hand, right? So if he decides to send a Thunder Dragon, why would he do that? I don't have Wing Blast. I don't have a Sork. I don't have things to follow up on the Thunder Dragon. It's possible in my mind, I remember thinking of this in real time, that, okay, he for sure has a Nobleman or a Mind Control to answer the spy. 100%. He has to. There's no way that he would let me resolve his spy. Likely has a way to answer the gorilla as well, so now that makes me more inclined to believe that he has a mind control, which he actually ended up having. Remember, I can't see this in real time. Thought that it's possible that he had duo because he picked the Thunder Dragon. It's not for sure, but I was 100% sure he had a way to answer the spy and likely the gorilla, because I mean 2000 is really hard to clear in the mirror without a Suki. I didn't know what it composed of, but he had ways to answer this, and he 100% had ways to answer a set. So let's see what I decide to do here. The play is to definitely duo. He does chain jar, which is a good play. He's trying to hit a serpent. Yeah, it'd be only a serpent that would help. And now we're gonna roll. He pitches the Kaiku, which I had no information about, and I could probably figure that he had this in his hand. So I don't know anything else, but I have to know that he has a way to answer a set. So obviously we Nobleman. And what would you guys do here? The play here is pretty clear in my mind. Remember, we are going second in this duel, and we are, you know, it looks like we're up a card right now, and we definitely are. It's not 100% sure that he has Delinquent, but it's possible. There's a clear play, in my opinion. So what would you do? Okay, and the clear play is to summon the Sangan and attack. So let's see what I did, and that is what I did. So that is 100% to play, and now James has to use this Delinquent, and he passes. What would you do here? We got him 6,000 to 7,000. That was an expensive turn for him. He had to use Delinquent. He's 100% taking 1,000, so he's willingly signing up to take more damage, right? We haven't tested for Nobleman. We haven't tested for Mind Control. I like summoning the Spy, and I do remember what I ended up doing. I like summoning the Spy and attacking, just getting on the clock. Nobleman of the Train is gone. 1,200 is kind of hard to clear in a mirror match, especially if you're, only siding one Kaiku. One is in the grave. These are gone. It's possible that this Spy just walks. So I like summoning it and attacking and just clocking him down. That's what I end up doing. And takes the damage. Draws Serpent. That's not helpful for him. I draw Snatch. Excellent draw. So here I like swinging with the... I actually kind of like swinging with the Spy first, because if it's Night Assailant, he's actually going to have to target the Spy, because if he targets the Sangan, he saves 1,000 life, but then I get the Search, so it's a -1. So I hope I attack with the Spy, but I decided to attack with the Sangan. It works out for me this time, but I think that the best play is actually attacking with the Spy. So I think that this is just a mistake. It doesn't really do much for the clock here. So I attack with the Sangan. It does work out, getting for the extra 200, and we should not be setting this Delinquent's gone. Just hold it in your hand and pass. He draws Sork, so another poor draw for my opponent. I can now know 2 cards at a minimum of his hand. I know he has Nobleman or Mind Control, and now a Serpent. And he has to do the same play. Now he starts bluff setting. In my eyes, I do have to respect this card because I know he has a Nobleman or a Mind Control of the 4 cards in his possession. I actually don't know with certainty what either of these cards are. This could be easily a Mirror Force, and this could be easily a Spy. Anyways, we draw Thunder Dragon. I think it's the same play. Just attack. Here, you pitch the Thunder Dragons, and now there's also a little bit of a decision making to be made here. You're never setting the Snatch Steal, but it's possible you pitch a Thunder Dragon to play around Trap Dust Shoot, as you don't really need the dragon in your hand right now for protection from duo, as it's in the graveyard. So I hope I do decide to throw away a Thunder Dragon. That'd be a good play, just to play around a potential set Snatch, and I don't end up doing it. If I draw, let's say Breaker or something, and now he gets to Trap Dust Shoot me, but again, he'd just see the Snatch Steal, so it's not the worst play, but I think that throwing away the dragon is best. And he draws Ring, which is now a brutal draw, again for him, because he's just so low on life, and he has to set the Ring now. We do have Lethal if we were just to go all in. I decided to Tribute and go the Tribute route, because it'd be 1,600 for Lethal. So this is a better play, in my eyes, than committing this Tribe, because we get a Search, and we're threatening Lethal. Just take the Serpent, and what's the worst that can happen? Give him another turn. Could be a Spy, but now we have this Tribe, and we got this Snatch, so this is a good play. And I would definitely attack with the Spy here, threaten a Lethal. He has to ring this, or else he's dead. So he rings it. He goes down to 200, and I'm at 58, and this is like a huge sign of desperation to me. And you just attack the Serpent, and honestly, at this point, you can just pass. And you draw a Snatch. There's no other play. You got to Snatch and set the Serpent. So he snatches it, and he actually puts it in defense, which is, in my eyes, okay, yeah, this is the best play on paper because he doesn't want to die to a Kaiku attack over it. But you're basically now telegraphing that, okay, you have literally no defense. I know this card's fake, but it's for sure fake. It's not even torrential now. It's just nothing because of him not attacking, right? Because if it was torrential, I normal summon Kaiku, you just torrential. But him not attacking is just very, very passive. But in his eyes, I think it still is the correct play. But with this small bit of information, you need to be able to know that that card is completely fake. And he likely also drew Snatch for turn. He decided not to set the Nobleman as a bluff, so I guess that's a decent play because now the set could be something else. And for us, we've got a slam dunk here. The play is just to Snatch Steal and Suki. I hope we attack with the Thunder Dragon here again, just in case it's a Night Assailant. We're okay with the Suki going to the grave. And that's what we do. In case also with Suki only, you'll be able to kill it. And it's just GG. So we ended up winning this one. We got James in this. He did draw well in game 2, but it was just kind of like my aggressive strategy. And the real pivotal play was not setting this spy and playing into the known mind control or nobleman. So sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh, you can be technically outdrawn, but we kind of drew fair. But he went first, and he had the earlier shoot, or he had to shoot, and I did not. But it comes down to just, giving your opponent credit and thinking, like, why would he not send the spy? He has a way to answer it. If I played into what he was doing, I would have lost this game. We would have went to game 3. So, good game, and hope you enjoyed the video.